Hi everyone, I'm Marcy and I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, home of the blues and birthplace of rock and roll. It's also where you can get some of the best Southern cooking. I'm talking fried chicken, barbecue, mac and cheese, collard greens, the list goes on. And since imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I'm gonna see if I can duplicate a Memphis recipe when I get back home to Arizona. First, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and let's get inspired together. Before we get to the food, I want to show you a little around Memphis. This is only my second time here, but I love it because so much of it revolves around music. This is historic Beale Street, located in the heart of downtown, and it's just a happening place with all kinds of shops and restaurants and music spilling into the streets. Of course, you can't talk about music in Memphis without mentioning the king, Elvis Presley. You can see his Graceland home, which has been preserved like a time capsule, as are many of his iconic jumpsuits. You can also tour Sun Records, the record label that launched many a gospel, blues, rockabilly, and country career. It's where the $1 Million Quartet had an impromptu jam session, and you can sing into the very microphone they used. Across town, you can visit Stax Records, where R&B and soul music was produced. Now turned into a museum, it showcases the music and memorabilia of soul legends. And it even has a Soul Train dance floor where you can get your groove on. And I can't leave out the National Civil Rights Museum. It's built around the former Lorraine Motel where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. I can't begin to tell you how moving all the exhibits are. It's an absolute must-see and gives you an even deeper appreciation for all those who fought for civil rights. With so much to see and do in Memphis, you'll surely work up an appetite, and there's no shortage of great food. On this trip, we tried Gus's world-famous fried chicken. We had to wait about 25 minutes to get in, but it did not disappoint. Check out what the cup says. Apparently, if you haven't eaten at Gus's, you haven't eaten fried chicken. That's pretty cocky. I'm gonna try this. They may have a point. That's good. The chicken was extra spicy and juicy and altogether delicious. We also made a return trip to the barbecue shop for their dry ribs. Honestly, they're the best ribs I've had in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. Central Barbecue is another popular eatery. There, we decided to give barbecue nachos a try. I've never had barbecue nachos before, so this should be interesting. They're good. While I did enjoy the nachos and a sampling of their mac and cheese, I was most impressed by their positively scrumptious banana pudding. So now that I'm back home in Arizona, I sort of went back and forth on which recipe I should try to make, but I recently got an air fryer. And actually, this is more than an air fryer. It's a pressure cooker, a slow cooker, a food dehydrator. It does a million different functions. But since I have this air fryer now, I thought the perfect challenge would be for me to try to make that spicy fried chicken in an air fryer, which would make it a little healthier. And it turns out that there's a couple of Gus's world famous fried chicken copycat recipes on the internet. So I tried them out and I ended up combining them and tweaking them just a bit. So I think you're really going to love this. Now, if you don't have an air fryer, just copy all the other steps. And then when it comes time to frying it, you just do that over the stovetop like you normally would. But here's what you're going to need. However many pieces of chicken that you want to fry. I'm just using 4 pieces here today. You're going to need probably about a couple of cups of buttermilk. It doesn't have to be exact. You'll need 1.5 cups all-purpose flour or self-rising flour, 2 teaspoons paprika, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 teaspoons garlic salt, 2 teaspoons onion powder, 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon crushed black pepper. You'll also need some hot sauce. I'm going with tapatio, And then Gus's fries their chicken in peanut oil, but I wasn't able to find it in spray form, which is what you need for an air fryer. So I'm going with avocado oil because this does really well in high heat. Now, unfortunately, when I got this home, I found out that it doesn't really work so well as a spray so much as it shoots sort of a stream, but it still worked and I was really happy with the end result. So if you can find peanut oil, definitely go with that. So let's go ahead and get started. This chicken has been washed and patted dry with paper towels, so I'm going to place it into a bowl. You can also put it in a large Ziploc bag if you prefer. And then I'm going to cover it with buttermilk. You don't need to measure, just so long as all the chicken gets fully covered. Then I'm going to put about 8 to 10 dashes of hot sauce. This is going to give it that spicy kick that Gus's fried chicken has. And that's probably good there. And I'm going to make sure the chicken gets coated on all sides. Then I'll cover the bowl and place it in the refrigerator to marinate for a minimum of 2 hours. When that chicken has fully marinated, I'm going to preheat my air fryer for about 15 minutes at 350 degrees. And while that's going, I'll grab a large bowl and start putting in all the dry ingredients. That's the flour, the paprika, the salt, the garlic salt, the onion powder, the cayenne pepper, and the ground black pepper. I'll whisk it together so that all the seasonings are evenly dispersed. Now I'll take a piece of chicken and dip it into the seasoning mixture. I'll get it nice and covered on both sides. Ooh, I actually got it to spray. Maybe I did something wrong the first time. I'll drizzle a little more oil on the top side and then on to the next piece of chicken. You're not supposed to overcrowd food placed in the air fryer, so I'm going to cook the rest of this chicken later. I'll go ahead and set the timer to 15 minutes, then I'll check in on it and turn the chicken over. It hasn't quite been 15 minutes yet, but I want to check in on this. And the beauty of this is that you can open the lid at any point and check in, and you can see it's already starting to look really good. I think I'm going to go ahead and flip them over and then put them in for another 15 minutes, although it's not going to take that long. You just kind of have to keep an eye on it. Let me flip this. This chicken is done, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out. And you can see that it looks just like regular fried chicken with those crispy little tidbits. Now I'm going to go ahead and let this cool for a bit, and then I'll go ahead and taste it because right now it is piping hot. All right, I'm ready to try this. That's really good. The outside is nice and crispy, and the chicken is really juicy and delicious. You've got all those wonderful spices. You know, honestly, I never would have tried to make this had it not been for the fact that I had that wonderful experience at Gus's. So until I can go back there and have it again, I'll be making it at home, and I hope you try it too. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.